What's the title? And who is the writer of the book?
It's 1984 by George Orwell.
Yes. And today's your page is?
My page is page 335. He knew now what had changed in her. Her face was sallower, and there was a long scar, partly hidden by the hair, across her forehead and temple. But that was not the change. It was that her waist had grown thicker, and, in a surprising way, had stiffened. He remembered how, once, after the explosion of a rocket bomb, he had helped drag a corpse out of some ruins, and had been astonished by not only by the incredible weight of the thing, but by its rigidity and awkwardness to handle, which made it seem more like stone than flesh. Her body felt like that. It occurred to him that the texture of her skin would be quite different from what it had been once. He did not attempt to kiss her, nor did they speak. As they walked back across the grass, she looked directly at him for the first time. It was only a momentary glance, full of contempt and dislike. He wondered whether it was a dislike that came purely out of the past, or whether it was inspired also by his bloated face and the water that the wind kept squeezing from his eyes. They sat down on 2 iron chairs, side by side, but not too close together. He saw that she was about to speak. She moved her clumsy shoe a few centimeters and deliberately crushed a twig. Her feet seemed to have grown broader, he noticed. "I betrayed you," she said baldly. "I betrayed you," he said. She gave him another quick look of dislike. "Sometimes," she said, "they threaten you with something you can't stand up to, can't even think about. And then you say, 'Don't do it to me. Do it to somebody else. Do it to so-and-so.' And perhaps you might pretend, afterwards, that it was only a trick, and that you just said it to make them stop, and didn't really mean it. But that isn't true. At the time when it happens to you, you do mean it. You think there's no other way of saving yourself, and you're quite ready to save yourself that way. You want it to happen to the other person. You don't give a damn what they suffer. All you care about is yourself. All you care about is yourself."
Enough. Thank you. So, could you give us good storytelling?
The 2 characters that came out in this part that I read are Julia and Winston. And a long time ago, they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and they were caught because in this world they can't be with somebody that they love, and they have to be with just another person for reproduction. And they were caught that they were in love, and they were taken to this place, probably called the Ministry of Love, and they were made to believe in the party, and the party is the government of this world, and they control all of these people's lives, and they have these things called telescreens, and through the telescreens they can see what everyone is doing. It's like a TV, but the people can't control or turn that TV off. And they were caught, and they make these people who are caught suffer. It's kind of like a jail. And they make you believe in the party. And then after that, they were let go. And before they were let go, there is this room, and it's called Room 101, and everyone hates Room 101 And when they go into that room, there is one thing, the one thing that the person is really, really scared of. And for Winston, it was rats. And Winston, he was put into a cage. He was put into a chair. And then there was a cage with rats inside it. And they were trying to put it over his face so that the rats would eat his face. And then he says, don't do this to me. Do it to Julia. And Julia is the person that he loves. And after that, he was let go. Because the party believes that if you betray that one person that you love, you are kind of now believing in the party. And they were let go, and this is outside. They just met. And they're telling each other that I betrayed you. Yes. A little more shiny. And now, in the end, this is kind of a spoiler, but then Winston starts to love Big Brother, and Big Brother is like the main person of this government, and they all have to believe in Big Brother. And when he believes in Big Brother, they kill him because he's now a party member. Yes.
So interesting, really. Let's give her many questions for 6 minutes from each one.
I have a question. And why did Big Brother make the telescreen?
Big Brother is not actually a real person, I think. He's just a figure that the party has made to make people have one thing to praise. So kind of like God. And the party, I think they make the telescreens because if you know that you're being watched, you have to be careful of what you say and what you do. So to control what they are doing.
Take a seat there. So, Winston at last betrayed his lover, Julia.
Yes.
That's the why he loved her so much more. That's the why he wanted to be saved himself.
Because he wanted to save himself. Yes.
Is there a reason the party banned real love?
I think that the party is kind of trying to make people not be able to feel, because there's this thing called Newspeak, and they kill all the words, and they just make good and not good, and very good and very, very good. They're trying to make everything just good and not good, so that even though they feel something, if they can't express what they're feeling, then they're not really feeling that thing. So I think that's kind of a reason why love is banned.
What's your opinion about this story?
I actually had a lot of fun reading it. It took me like 1.5 years. And it's very interesting. Yes. The world, how it's made, is really, really interesting.
So what is the purpose? Why the party is trying to make people foolish, simple, insensible, do you think? To develop the human beings, a society world, we have to let people study or think deeper, think wider. Yeah, that is a reasonable logic, I think. But why does the government, the party, try to people less than before?
I'm not sure, but then I think maybe it's because right now there's this very strong government called the party. And if people start to think differently, then they're gonna get to know that a party can be changed and the party might be wrong. So, but if they can't think, then it's just gonna be forever one party, one and only party. So for their kind of ruling government, maybe.
To seize the power.
Yes.
To seize the power, make people simpler, less than before,
Yes.
less wise. Wow. Mhm. So Department of Love, right? Yes. What does the department work?
They make. I don't really remember, but then they take people there and they make them suffer and make them feel pain so that
Mhm.
they
It's not the
change.
love.
Yes.
Mm.
It's very different. There's 4 departments. There are 4 ministries.
Mhm.
It's Ministry of Love, Ministry of Peace,
Mhm.
and 2 other things, but I don't remember. And they all do the opposite of what they're supposed to.
Why the government's doing that to people?
Because the government because they don't want people to think differently. I don't know, but then I think they don't want like different people. They want the same people who can work and eat and do what they tell them to do.
The same people, same sort, okay, same behavior. That means it's like the robot, AI.
Yes.
It's each country. So I know the answer, but are there any other peoples who reject, who deny this kind of a system?
In this book,
Mm.
I'm
The people who live in poor,
proletarian quarters.
what?
They are just people and they are not smart. So they just stay in their quarters and they have no interest in what the government is doing.
Do they have real freedom from the party?
It's freedom, but then they don't think on their own. I think so.
But actually, the party can control.
Yes.
They can monitor
Yes.
what are they doing.
Yes.
Exactly.
Do you think there's a good thing about the world in the book?
I like this world better. I like different people. I like people who are different. So, no.
Not at all.
Maybe. I think there's not going to be a lot of crimes.
Yes, and then some, but boring equality.
Yes.
But there are 2 classes. The upper class is what? The leaders in the party, and the other majority is just a common party member.
Yes.
And then proletarian quarter, there are different people. Okay, 3 kinds of people.
Yes.
And what is your opinion about that system?
About that system. I don't like it, but then it's kind of like in the future we might turn like this. So it's kind of telling people to be careful of that. I think so.
So in the future, this kind of 3 classes will appear to us.
Maybe.
Upper class and the ruling party,
Yes.
and then so vast majority of the people who are the same. But they could be replaced by robot easily. 3분 정도 우리 딱 7시 하신다니까 3분 정도 더 한국말로 궁금한 거 있으면 여쭤보겠습니다.
1984년이 이 책 제목인데 그 이 책이 1984년에 나와서 그런 건가요?
주인공이 기억하는 날짜가 있는데 그게 1984년인 날짜가 자기의 옛날 약간 기억 속에 있어서 그때 기준으로 전쟁이 약간 터졌고 그 이후로 이렇게 사회가 생긴 거여서 그런 것 같습니다.
이제 이 책이 쓰여질 때가 이제 그 어떤 공산주의와 그 자유진영의 민주주의 진영, 자본주의죠. 거기에 핵전쟁 우려가 막 올라올 때였기 때문에 1940, 50년도에는 정말 핵전쟁이 나는 줄 알았었거든요. 그러니까 1984년도에 양 진영의 커다란 전쟁이 일어나고 그 다음에 세상이 이렇게 재편될 것이다라고 상상한 거죠. 예.
어쩌다 이걸 고르게 되신 건지.
그게 원래 처음 왔을 때 책을 약간 고르기 전에 브라이언 쌤이 이걸로 스토킹을 하시는 걸 들었는데 진짜 되게 재밌을 것 같아가지고 읽게 되었습니다.
책에 대한 후회는 없습니까? 이 책,
되게
중학교 생활을 잘 보낸 파트너 같은 책인데 생각을
되게 흥미로운 것 같습니다.
어떤 식으로 우리 현이의 생각을 조금 영향을 주었습니까? 이 책이 앞으로 살아가는 데 있어서 어떤 점이 이 책에서 얻은 지식과 어떤 느낌이 조금은 변화를 준 게 있습니까? 미래를 바라보는 눈이나 뭐 자기의 미래나 그런 쪽에서 이런 것은 참 이렇게 일깨워졌다는 그런 게 있습니까? 대단한 게 아니더라도
약간 로봇 같은 거에 관심을 더 갖게 된 것 같습니다.
인공지능이나 로봇이 이 미래에 어떻게 우리를 대체하고 우리와 삶 속에 어떻게 갈 것인가에 대한 생각을 하게 된 거죠. Sonic, so could you tell us the title and the writer of the book?
Okay, so my book is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde,
Yes.
and the author is Albert Louis Stevenson.
Okay, so I have to take this one. So what page are you going to do today?
I'm gonna read from page 21.
Yes, I ask you volume one more, and then please read out first, and we do shadow speaking. Please go.
Nearly a year later, in the month of October 18, London was startled by a crime of singular ferocity and rendered all the more notable by the high position of the victim. The details were few and startling. A maid servant living alone in a house not far from the river had gone upstairs to bed about 11. Although a fog rolled over the city in the small hours, the early part of the night was cloudless, and the lane, which the maid's window overlooked, was brilliantly lit by the full moon. It seems she was romantically given, for she sat down upon her box, which stood immediately under the window, and fell into a dream of musing. Never, she used to say with streaming tears when she narrated that experience, never has she felt more at peace with all men or thought more kindly of the world. And as she so sat, she became aware of an aged and beautiful gentleman with white hair, drawing near along the lane and advancing to meet him, another and very small gentleman, to whom at first she paid less attention. When they had come within speech, which was just under the maid's eyes, the older man bowed and accosted the other with a very pretty manner of politeness. It did not seem as if the subject of his address were of great importance. Indeed, from his pointing, it sometimes appeared as if he were only inquiring his way. But the moon shone on his face as he spoke, and the girl was pleased to watch it. It seemed to breathe such an innocent and old-world kindness of disposition, yet with something high too, as of well-founded self-content. Presently her eye wandered to the other, and she was surprised to recognize in him a certain Mr. Hyde, who had once visited her master and for whom she had conceived a dislike. He had in his hand a heavy cane with which he was trifling, but he answered never a word, and seemed to listen with an ill-contained impatience. And then, all of a sudden, he broke out into a great flame of anger, stamping with his foot, brandishing the cane, and carrying on, as the maid described it, like a madman. The old gentleman took a step back with the air of one very much surprised and a trifle hurt, and at that Mr. Hyde broke out of all bounds and clubbed him to the earth. And next moment, with ape-like fury, he was trampling his victim underfoot and hailing down a storm of blows, under which the bones were audibly shattered and the body jumped upon the roadway.
Thank you. And then close your book. And then, so how could you share your story with the
So the part I read about is the description of a gentleman named Carew getting killed by Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde is one of the main characters of the story. So the story goes like there's Mr. Utterson, a fairly famous lawyer, and he is walking with his friend Mr. Enfield, and they arrive in front of a small house with one door, and Mr. Enfield tells Utterson about a story involving Mr. Hyde, where Mr. Hyde steps over a child with no mercy and just tries to leave, and Mr. Utterson is shocked by the story. And 1 year later, from Mr. Utterson and Enfield's talk, there is a murder, and Mr. Hyde kills this gentleman named Carew, and Mr. Utterson is called by the police to tell them about Carew because Mr. Carew had a letter being sent to Mr. Utterson, and they find out that the criminal is Mr. Hyde, and they search for Mr. Hyde, but they cannot find where Mr. Hyde is. And Mr. Utterson and the police keep on searching for Mr. Hyde, but they don't have any progress for some months. And Mr. Utterson was just spending his day, and then one of Mr. Jekyll's, Dr. Jekyll's, he's a doctor, a famous doctor and a kind person, and one of his friends, Dr. Raymond, calls Mr. Utterson and tells him that Mr. Jekyll was doing an experiment, and when he actually drinks a potion, he becomes Mr. Hyde, which is the inner evil part of him. So he was trying to leave only the kind part of him in the Dr. Jekyll form and leave all the evil in the Mr. Hyde form. So in the last part of the story, Mr. Jekyll decides to kill himself and Mr. Hyde to prevent evil from the world.
Oh, gorgeous. Question times 2. So Utterson is right. Mr. Utterson, he's a lawyer, and he is a narrator in this book. His role is narrator role.
No, the book is written in third person view,
So the first view.
but most of the events happen around Mr. Utterson.
And why does he has two characters? For example,
Jekyll and Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll was experimenting on a potion, and he wanted to drain out the evil from his soul and leave only the kind aspect of his soul inside it, and that resulted in a new form called Mr. Hyde that only has evil.
The purpose of the potion is intended by the Dr. Jekyll to produce the better side of his mind.
Yeah, his first intent was to separate the kind and evil, and it resulted in Mr. Hyde.
And did he know about after he drank the potion and he changed he has two characters, and did he know?
So when he first drank the potion and changed to Mr. Hyde, he came back to his Dr. Jekyll form and found his clothes soaked with blood, and experimented and researched and found out that Mr. Hyde, there's something called Mr. Hyde, and he does his best to prevent that from doing bad things to the other people.
Do they use the same body?
Yeah.
And but if GK changes to Hyde, how were the reactions of the housemaid or servant?
Jekyll, all of the housemates didn't know that Jekyll was actually Hyde because Jekyll and Hyde only went out and entered through the laboratory when they were changing forms.
So if the housemaid or servant to meet Hyde, not GK, so how did they serve the Hyde?
Dr. Jekyll told his servants that Hyde is a loyal friend and told them to serve him very well.
So they used the same body, but if GK changed to Hyde, I knew that the body or the appearances or the faces also changes. Why does the writer was set this kind of setting?
I think the writer set this setting to show that how you think and act might actually change your appearance.
What kind of temper Mr. Hyde has?
Mr. Hyde is described as very not patient and he has no mercy and he is very cruel.
So does Hyde kill people without purpose, random? The Hyde.
Yeah.
Not because of anger, just okay, he happened
Sudden
to.
impulse.
Do you want to drink it?
No, because all of the events in this book related to Mr. Hyde is terrible.
These days, it's a big social issue. No asking the crime, do you understand, and without purpose. Do you think those guys are the same as Hyde? Do you think?
I think since Hyde is only filled with evil and the no asking murders are, I think they are sort of crazy. So even though they probably still do have their kind parts, I think they're basically the same.
So it's a sensitive question. So sometimes, can you feel you have something bad side of evil in your mind?
Yeah, I think mostly when I'm at school, when my friends do dumb things, I kind of feel that evil side, wanting to say bad things to them about their dumb actions.
So did you express that? Did you try to oppress the evil side?
I did want to express them, but I oppressed it a little bit and just said normal, just advice.
In my case, I have my devil in my mind, and I let him behave or act in my imaginary world. Anything, do whatever you want to do. So in my imagination, I let him go west and do anything. But that is just inside my imagination. Yes, and then soon your last question.
Why do you make this book?
Good.
Because I first met this book in the school library when I was in elementary school, and this book is pretty famous within every library. So I read this book like 2 or 3 times, and I like the setting and story of this book.
Yes, thank you. Gorgeous. 책 제목과 저자 알려주세요.
책 제목은 동물농장이고 저자는 조지 오웰입니다. 시작 페이지는 126페이지입니다.
예, 큰 소리로 낭독해 주세요.
동물들이 농장에 가까이 가자 전투가 벌어지는 동안 이유 없이 보이지 않았던 스킬러가 깡충거리며 뛰어와서는 꼬리를 흔들고 만족스러운 듯한 환한 표정을 지었다. 그 순간 동물들은 농장 건물 쪽에서 들려오는 탕하는 엄숙한 총소리를 들었다. 복서가 물었다. 저 총은 왜 쏘는 거요? 스킬러가 소리쳤다. 승리를 축하하기 위해서요. 무슨 승리요? 복서는 무릎에서 피가 흘렀고 한쪽 편자를 잃어버렸으며 발굽은 갈라진 데다 뒷다리에는 총알이 12개가 박혀있었다. 동무, 무슨 승리라니? 우리가 우리 땅, 동물농장이라는 신성한 땅에서 적들을 쫓아내지 않았소? 그렇지만 인간들이 풍차를 박살냈소. 우리가 2년이나 걸려 지은 것이란 말이오. 그게 무슨 상관이오? 우리는 풍차를 다시 지을 거요. 우리가 마음만 먹으면 풍차를 6개라도 지을 수 있어. 동무는 우리가 이룩한 그 위대한 과업을 인정하지 않고 있어. 적들은 우리가 서 있는 바로 이 땅을 점령하려 하고 있었소. 그런데 지금은 나폴레옹 동무의 지도력 덕분에 우리가 이 땅을 모두 되찾았단 말이오. 복서가 말했다. 그러니까 전에 우리가 갖고 있던 땅을 되찾은 것뿐이지 않소. 스킬러가 말했다. 그게 바로 우리의 승리라는 거예요. 동물들은 절뚝거리며 마당으로 들어섰다. 복서는 살갗에 박힌 총탄들 때문에 다리가 고통스럽게 쿡쿡 쑤시고 아팠다. 그는 풍차를 기초부터 새로 건설하는 막중한 노동이 자기 앞에 놓여있는 것을 보았고 이미 그 일을 하느라 마차를 끄는 자신의 모습을 상상했다. 그렇지만 그는 처음으로 자기가 11살이나 되었으며 단단한 근육이 전과 같지 않다는 생각을 하게 되었다. 그렇지만 동물들은 초록색 깃발이 펄럭이는 것을 보고 도합 7번에 걸쳐 총을 발사하는 소리를 듣고 나폴레옹이 자기들의 행위를 기리며 치하하는 연설을 듣고 나자 결국 자신들이 정말로 큰 승리를 한 것처럼 여기게 되었다. 전투 중에 사망한 동물들에게는 엄숙한 장례식을 치러주었다. 복서와 클로버는 연구차로 쓰는 마차를 끌었으며 나폴레옹이 몸소 행렬의 선두에 서서 걸어갔다. 꼬박 이틀 동안 축하하는 잔치가 벌어졌다. 노래도 했고 연설도 했으며 더 많은 축포가 발사되었고 특별 선물로 모든 동물들에게는 사과가 하나씩, 새에게는 옥수수 50g씩, 개에게는 비스킷 3개가 주어졌다. 이 전투는 풍차 전투라고 명명되었으며 나폴레옹이 새로운 훈장인 초록 깃발 훈장을 만들어 자신에게 수여했다는 소식이 발표되었다. 전반적으로 기뻐하는 분위기 속에서 불행한 집회 사건은 잊혀졌다. 이 사건이 발생한 지 며칠 후에 돼지들은 농장 저택의 지하실에서 위스키 한 상자를 우연히 발견했다. 그 저택에 처음 들어왔을 때는 발견되지 않았던 물건이었다. 그날 밤 농장 저택에서는 커다란 노랫소리가 새어나왔는데 그 노래는 놀랍게도 영국의 동물의 가락이 섞여 있었다.
3분 동안 내용 다시 한번 요약해주세요. 재밌게. 책 전체 얘기도 해도 상관없어요.
우선 이 책의 스토리 자체가 원래는 보편적으로 인간이 동물을 지금 다스리는 시대고 이 책에도 마찬가지로 처음에는 인간이 동물을 지배하는 내용이 나오는데 동물들이 이제 못 참겠어서 인간들을 대상으로 혁명을 일으킵니다. 그래서 그 혁명은 성공적으로 승리하게 됐고 인간들은 결국 이 자신이 운영하던 농장에서 이제 동물들에 의해 쫓겨나게 됩니다. 그리고 나서 이제 수많은 세월이 흘렀고 그 동물들은 이제 자기들이 먹고 살기 위해서 풍차를 하나 건설을 했어요. 근데 그 풍차를 하나 건설하는데 2년이라는 시간이 걸렸고 그 사이에 인간들은 다시 이제 동물들이 혼자서 살아갈 수 없을 거라고 말을 하면서 내심 걱정이 되기도 하였고 그것 때문에 이제 동물농장을 다시 되찾으려고 인간들이 침략을 하게 됩니다. 그런데 인간들은 총이란 무기를 갖고 있었고 동물들이 당해내기에는 매우 벅찼지만 그 나폴레옹이라는 돼지가 한 마리 있습니다. 근데 그 돼지의 전술로 인해서 인간과 동물과의 전투에서 말은 승리지만 그래도 일단 승리를 거두게 됩니다. 그리고 나서 이제 말 한 마리가 있는데 그 말의 이름 복서고 복서가 이제 나폴레옹의 이제 충신인 스킬러란 돼지에게 우리가 총을 왜 쏘냐고 물었지만 스킬러는 우리의 승리를 축하하기 위해서라고 답할 뿐 승리에 대한 구체적인 설명은 없었습니다. 복서는 크게 다쳤고 다리에는 총알이 12개나 박혀 있었고 그리고 다른 동물들도 많이 죽은 희생자들도 많았고 그리고 2년이나 걸려서 지은 풍차도 박살이 났기 때문에 복서는 이것을 승리라고 생각하지 않았고 하지만 복서의 모토는 원래 자기가 더 열심히 일해야 되겠다는 그런 좌우명이었기 때문에 그 아픈 상태에서도 자기가 이제 풍차를 위해 마차를 끌고 돌을 옮기는 상상을 했습니다. 그리고 이제 나폴레옹과 다른 돼지들이 좀 연설을 하고 축포를 계속 쏘고 그리고 비스켓이나 다른 뭐 곡물 그리고 사과 이런 것들이 다른 동물들에게 주어지면서 파티 같은 걸 계속 열게 됩니다. 그리고 그 과정에서 동물들은 정말로 자기들이 인간들의 전투에서 승리했다고 생각하고 그 전에 있었던 되게 불행한 집회 사건이라는 사건이 있었는데 그 사건은 점점 동물들의 기억 속에서 잊혀지게 됐습니다. 그리고 나서 그 원래 인간들이 살았던 그 집에 위스키 한 상자가 발견이 되었는데 그 위스키는 원래는 동물들이 처음 인간을 몰아내고 집에 들어갔을 때 없던 물건이었고 제 생각에는 아마 돼지들이 인간들의 물품인 술을 위스키를 집에 들여놓은 것 같습니다.
예, 질문 드리겠습니다.
돼지가 그럼 동물사회 리더인가요?
이 책에서는 돼지가 리더입니다. 왜냐하면 제일 똑똑한 동물도 돼지였고 그리고 이 써져 있는 바에 따르면은 동물들이 발굽이 이렇게 두 개가 나 있어서 이걸로 연필이나 글씨를 쓰기 쉽다는 이유로 그리고 똑똑하다는 이유로 돼지들이 지배자를 맡고 있습니다.
돼지의 똑똑함, 동물 중에서 돼지의 똑똑함은 어떤 요소에서 똑똑하다고 인정받았습니까?
일단은 말을 굉장히 빨리 깨우쳤고요. 글과 말을 빨리 깨우쳤고 인간들이 쓰는 알파벳이나 이런 거를 좀 빨리 깨우쳐서 다른 동물들에게 먼저 전파하는 역할을 했었고
그러니까 정보를 장악할 수 있었네요.
네.
말과 글이고요. 그것도 쓸 수 있었고요.
글도 쓸 수 있어요.
예, 즉 도구를 다룰 수 있는 사람 동물이었네요.
네.
예.
동물들은 지금 점점 인간화되어 가고 있는 건가요?
모든 동물이 그런 건 아니고요. 일단 이 책에서 보면은 서서히 돼지들이 자기들이 인간을 몰아냈지만 이제 권력을 자기가 차지하면서 다시 한번 인간으로 점점 변해가는 과정이 지금 이 책의 주요 그 내용인 것 같습니다.
여기서의 인간은 우리 전체 인간이 아니고 좀 특정한 어떤 그 계층을 얘기하는 것 같은데 여기서의 인간은 어떤 인간입니까?
우선 이 책의 배경이 이제 동물농장을 쓴 조지 오웰이라는 작가가 이 책을 쓸 때 소비에트 사회를 살짝 풍자하고 비판하는 그런 내용이어서 일단은 전체적인 내용으로 봐서는 인간들이 제가 보기에는 소비에트의 일반 시민인 것 같고요. 그리고 돼지들이 소비에트 사회의 지배층인 것 같고 다른 동물들도 마찬가지로 소비에트 사회의 일반 평민인 것 같습니다.
제가 볼 때는 인간이란 어떤 다른 지배층으로서의 그 지위나 힘을 갖고 있는 사람을 인간으로 좀 칭하는 것 같고 돼지들은 착취되는 피지배층 하위 계층을 이제 돼지나 동물로 좀 약간 비유한 것 같고 그런 그 하위 계층의 막상 권력과 어떤 힘의 달콤함을 알고 나서 특히 돼지들이 이제 그 돼지들이 다시 자기를 착취했던 사람들과 똑같은 행동을 하기 시작하는 그런 끝없는 로테이션을 얘기하고 있지 않나라는 생각이 듭니다. 예, 또 추가 3분 동안 또 다양한 질문해 주시고요.
방금 전에 돼지들이 맨 처음 이 저택에 왔을 때는 원래 위스키를 발견하지 못했고 나중에 지금 왔을 때는 위스키를 발견했다고 했는데 어떻게 보면은 그거를 처음에는 되게 순수했던 그런 동물들인데 이제 지금 약간 인간화가 되어가고 있는 과정에서 그때 인간화가 되고 나서 그 위스키라는 걸 발견했지 않았나요?
일단 이 책에 그런 정확한 언급은 없는데 일단 제 생각에는 두 가지가 있는데 우선 말씀하신 그 첫 번째가 돼지들이 처음에 못 봤는데 이제 인간으로 변해가면서 발견했거나 아니면은 이제 돼지들이 인간으로 변해가면서 그 위스키를 돈을 주고 딴 데서 사들였거나 이 두 가지를 저는
왜
생각하고 있습니다.
위스키가 필요했나요 돼지들에게?
우선 술이란 거 자체가 돼지들에게는 꼭 필요한 건 아니지만 그래도 인간으로 변해가면서 그 술이란 걸 처음 접하게 됐었고 돼지들은 그거 이제 술의 맛에 눈을 뜬 것 같습니다.
술이 주는 어떤 그런 환각, 환상, 어떤 순간의 즐거움 그걸 느끼고 싶었던 거였네요 돼지들도.
방금 전에 축포를 썼나 하셨는데 이제 돼지들도 대포나 그런 모기들을 다룰 줄 아는 겁니까?
이제 몇 개 대포가 있어요. 처음에 일단 이 동물농장에 있었던 그런 그 크진 않지만 규모가 크진 않지만 그래도 작았던 총이나 대포 같은 걸 대포는 아닐 겁니다. 왜냐면 이게 농장이라고 했고 가정 농장이라도 해도 이제 가정집에 대한 농장만 있을 뿐이니까 제가 생각하기엔 아마 이 원래 농장 주인이 쓰던 총이나 이런 걸 것 같습니다.
이게 한 나라 전체에서의 일어나는 인간과 동물의 충돌이 아니라 농장 안에서만.
처음에는 그렇게 됐는데요. 이제 인간이 그러니까 이 원래 농장의 주인이 아닌 다른 사람들의 개입이 들어오면서 원래는 농장 안에서의 분열이었지만 그래도 다른 인간들이 들어옴으로써 인간과 동물의 그런 분열이라고 저는 생각합니다.